Hello, this is Brad Pluth from Dick's House of Sport here in Minnetonka, and this is our junior golf at House of Sport presentation or intro to our junior programs. So a little bit about me. I've been teaching golf since 1998, so this is my 25th year coaching, and it's been a blast traveling all over the country and really the world, chasing down great coaches and great players and playing a lot and teaching a lot. So it's been a fun ride. Wanted to start off, especially for juniors, is why do you play golf? Are you trying to play a little high school golf? You're trying to play middle school golf and just want to get out with your friends? Is it for fun? Not everybody competes, but some like to compete. I think it's a great social game. So making friends, golf is a very social game. It's probably the third most common. We'll talk about that here in a minute of why people do play golf. Some like the challenge, and yes, clothes can be cool. So the most important reason that everybody plays golf is from my friend Eric Appenfels, and he, or out at Pinehurst, they got a study of 20,000 people, and the number one reason was to strike the ball solid, and then followed by relationships or camaraderie. I didn't know how to spell camaraderie, so just putting relationships. So um, remember, golf is a game, and games should be fun, and it's enjoyed more when you're playing with other people. So, what are your goals? Is it to play in your first tournament, to just play at all, to play in a league, play for your high school team, you want to qualify for the state tournament, be player of the year, play some college golf, or even play professionally? I've helped people through all of those journeys and do consider it a privilege and honor to work with some of these guys. Um, this was one of my old stomping grounds, or Rory at Congressional Country Club. Um, so that was a fun time. So whether you're just starting out or you want to compete, we've got something for everybody. So this is my improvement cycle. So if you're a beginning golfer, I start just about everybody with a 60-minute discovery session, or what we call a new student assessment, and identify your natural movement patterns, set some goals, kind of identify your skills, and then move on to purposeful practice. And then we get you out on the course and playing pretty quickly, especially inside in a simulator, because you got to understand that when you're playing, you got to hit a tee shot, an approach shot, maybe another approach shot, a wedge, and a putt, right? I think sometimes people get lost in just trying to hit a solid strike with an iron in a full swing, but that doesn't happen every time. So we got to learn how to mix it up a little bit. And again, it is my goal to teach people how to play golf, not just swing a golf club. If you're an advanced player, I like to do playing lessons right off the bat. So let's identify where you're taking your strokes and how you're moving the golf ball and managing your golf ball around the golf course. So I do a playing lesson first and then build purposeful practice and benchmark skills. So it kind of works backwards a little bit. So I'm, I guess, known a little bit for developing natural movement patterns. So every body moves differently. We all have different length limbs. We all have different ranges of motion. So it just makes sense to not try to be somebody else, or the person in front of me is my model, not necessarily a swing model or the latest trend on tour. It is what your body is capable of doing. So I always start with stance width, because that promotes good balance, and unbalanced forces are notoriously erratic. I think that line came from Homer Kelly in The Golfing Machine. But then we'll identify your grip. Grip, again, controls the club face, a little bit of the path, and then your backswing track for consistency. Some people are what I consider on top, some people are under, and that influences plane and direction in your backswing. There's different ways of generating power from the top of the swing, and then everybody really does finish in balance. So that is one of the keys in developing your natural movement patterns. This is one of the scorecards that we use. And again, it kind of breaks the game into 4 buckets, if you will, of tee shots, approach shots, wedge shots, and putts. So you just simply track how many tee shots. Only time you'll see a big number there if you hit it out of bounds, and you're going to have 2 or even 3. 3 tee shots, and then approach shots, 1 on a par 3, 2 on a par 4, 3 or 2 on a par 5 would be fine. Wedge shots, again, anything that you hit with a wedge, and then number of putts. If you want to get fancy a little bit, which first time through, just count the number of strokes. If you want to get a little bit better data, you might want to write down the shape of your tee shot or the distance. Same for your approach shots, is like your approach shot distance, especially if you miss the green or have a big miss, and then your first distance of your wedge shot is a good one, and then the first putt distance for putting, and then the putt. So if you add up all four, that should total your score. At the completion of the round, you want to ask these three questions, which is going to get built into your scoring mindset, which is what was good, what could be better, and what solutions do you need, because that puts you in position to stay in control of your golf game and then continually get better. Okay. So this is what purposeful practice. So again, it moves from the scorecard to purposeful practice. So those four different quadrants, putting, wedging, approach shots, and tee shots, will show up here on your purposeful practice form. So this is a great way of organizing your practice or benchmarking your improvement over time. So I'm going to be accountable to helping you get better, and this is the way that I hold people accountable to improve at their desired skill level. So what is purposeful practice? Again, it should have a specific goal. It's focused, meaning I'm going to try to hit an 8-iron 135 yards or whatever it happens to be left of the target. Okay, I'm not saying you have to hit it at the target, just figure out how to hit it left of the target. I might try to do a quadrant game where I hit it one long left, one long right, one short left, one short right, and then try to hit the target. So that would be an example of a focused practice session. So the learner will receive feedback if they hit it inside of that quadrant, and then we might tighten up that tolerance to say it has to be within 10% of the distance. So at 100 yards, it has to land within 10 yards of the hole. Might be 6%, so 6 yards. So that would be kind of the quadrants. One easy way that I found to train is if you use 4 fingers. If you're trying to break 100, use 4 fingers left or right of the target. If you're trying to break 90, 3 fingers left or right of the target. Trying to break 80, 2 fingers, and if you're trying to break par, 1 finger left or right of your target. That would be a really quality shot. So quick question, quiz time. So how long does it take to develop a skill? Okay, I'll give you a second to read through those. But what I found, according to Stanford and UCLA, which one of my favorite learning and forgetting labs at UCLA by Dr. Robert Bjork, found that it takes anywhere from 50 to 1,500 correct repetitions, sometimes upwards of 2,000. So I'm going to go with 1,500, okay, to form a habit or skill. I always tell my students it's a race to 1,500 correct repetition, but your grip is a skill, your posture is a skill, your backswing is a skill. So there's lots of skills to be developed within the program, but we're going to chunk it down and make it workable. All right, so here is kind of an example periodization chart. Again, this is for some of my high school golfers. And it's basically a month by month what needs to happen with each of those segments in your game to achieve your goals. So this is a season-long, or what a season-long program looks like. Right now we're kind of at the end of January, beginning of February. So obviously we're here in Minnesota, we're going to do a lot of strategy in the simulator. Typically try to play about once a week. Talk about rules and strategy a fair amount. Again, rules and strategies come out every other year, so depending on when you're watching this, some of the rules may change or get updated. It's the best time of year to do your golf swing changes. Okay, so a lot of people try to change their swing in the middle of the season when really every major sport has a preseason. This is kind of our preseason in Minnesota. February or January, February, March. It's kind of what I call kind of the season prep. So purposeful practice, I call drills that are internal fields. About half your time should be in games, or pardon me, half your time should be in drills. About 30% of your time should be games, which are target-oriented activities. Remember that purposeful practice form that we used before. And about 15% of your time should be in exercises to develop stability, mobility, strength, stamina. So our programs and offering include private coaching, which I'd like to start everybody off with a new student assessment, which is $79.99. And then we do private coaching, 10-pack for $599.99. If If you're looking for some small group coaching programs, there's 4 sessions in each of these except for Train to Compete. So Train to Learn is kind of for our 8 to 12-year-olds. If you're new to playing golf, Train to Learn is for you. It's 4 45-minute sessions, $25 a session or $100. And then Train to Play is kind of for that intermediate looking to play maybe in a league or are playing in a league and just want to sharpen their skills a little bit. Those sessions are 60 minutes and $40 a session, or $160 for 4 sessions. And if you're looking to compete this spring, whether it's in high school or college or trying to make one of your teams, doing a 6-week session that's 90 minutes each, and that is $360 for the whole program for the 6-week sessions. That includes simulator time and everything else that we provide. So if you have any questions, feel free to give me a call at 952-401-4653.